Yeah. Everyone's good? Yeah, thumbs up. Cool.
Long flight home last night. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Most of the boys had a good sleep, I think, so it is a long trip back, but I think we're used to it now, so everyone's pulled up well from the travel.
Just a bit of a light session out there to kind of move the legs again?
Yeah, I think the first day back you just got to stay out of the house a little bit and get out in the sun, even though it's a bit overcast today. But yeah, so we just went through some of our detail for the weekend, and tomorrow we'll have our main run.
Perfect New Zealand weather.
Yeah, well, you know, never know what it's going to be like in Wellington, so played there a lot and played in all different conditions, and sometimes all 4 seasons in one game, you know, so we've got to be prepared for anything over there.
The fact that you haven't played them this season, is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
Oh, look, I wouldn't read too much into that. We've certainly watched them play, and they've been outstanding all year. They've been the trailblazers all year in the competition, so they're a very dangerous side in a lot of different areas. So I guess when it comes down to this stage of the season, you know, you're playing the best teams, and that's the way we're preparing for the game.
Obviously, you know, trying to win in New Zealand after playing South Africa last weekend, no team's been able to do that in Super Rugby. How do you go about, I suppose, making a bit of history?
Yeah, well, I think you just focus on the job at hand. That South African trip's done now. We've got to look forward and look to this weekend and have as good a week as we can with all the travel and all that. So we need a good day training tomorrow, and you know, you got to hope guys recover well from the travel and get all their sleep back in order pretty quick, and then we'll head over there on Thursday and you know, get stuck into it. So, you know, in terms of history and all that, we haven't spoken about that stuff. We're just trying to think pretty short term and trying to get our prep right for Saturday.
You learn, I suppose, from a couple of years ago, you know, when you beat the Bulls and came back and you lost by, I think it was only 5 points in the final of the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, I guess it tells you that it's very difficult to do from being there a couple of years ago. It's a tough challenge, no doubt, but it's something that the boys are excited about. It's a pretty special opportunity for us to still be in the competition at this stage. So, look, we're really excited about you know, about Saturday.
Finishing 6th week, do you sort of feel like you're playing with a bit of house money at the moment, that no one, I suppose, expects a team from 6 to win the whole thing, that you've got nothing to lose?
I don't really gamble, mate, so I'm not sure what you're talking about there.
But in terms of having nothing to lose, and like finishing 6th, it's obviously never been done before getting to the final.
Yeah, we haven't taken the mentality that we've got nothing to lose. Like, we want to win the comp, so you know, we're not trying to play second fiddle or anything like that, or just see what happens. And we're preparing as best we can to go out and play well. So, as I said, at this point in the competition, you're playing against the best teams, and we know we've got to play well to win.
The 3rd semi in a row, 4th semi in a row. Obviously, this group's now an experienced one when it comes to the pointy end of the year. Does that hold you in good stead? Yeah,
there's no doubt that type of thing helps. There's guys in our team now that have played half a dozen finals matches, and the pressure associated with that. You know, you certainly do get accustomed to that type of pressure and that environment, and I'd like to think after a while now those guys are used to it. So there's no doubt that's a positive for us, and we've got to make sure that again this weekend, when that pressure comes on, that we stand up.
What about the late fatigue factor, Steve? How do you sort of keep the balance between not overloading this week and having enough petrol in the tank late in the game?
Yeah, that's really important, and it's going to be important this week. I think we saw 2 years ago that was certainly a factor for us. And I guess this time round, I feel like our squad is probably a little bit stronger and more experienced. So those 16 to 23, when they get that opportunity at the back end, they can come on and make a difference. And I think if I look back to that final in 2013, the Chiefs guys that came off the bench turned the game for them. Guys like Pulu and Bandy Aki, I think maybe came on and really made an impact. So I think that tells you that you need all 23 players to be able to go the journey, and we're certainly going to need that on Saturday.
And do you think you've got maybe a bit of experience advantage over the Canes? Not a lot of these guys would have played any finals.
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure. They certainly, some of their leaders have certainly played in a lot of big games. You know, guys like Smith and Nonu and those kind of guys, and they're certainly going to be knowing what's important this week. So I wouldn't think that's too much of an advantage.
That test match experience really holds them in good stead for a final.
Yeah, well, I guess finals is as close as you get to test matches and big test matches. You know, that kind of pressure goes up a level, the intensity goes up a level. You're playing the best teams in the competition, and it's always tough in New Zealand. So, you know, at this point in the season, it's going to be tough.
But I suppose they've got a lot of expectation, you know, finishing first, having a home semi-final, knowing if they win, they get a home grand final. Can you maybe use that to your advantage a little bit, that sort of pressure they've got on their shoulders?
Oh, look, not really. We're not using any of that type of thing, to be honest. I think, like I said before, we're not using, we're not trying to sneak up on anyone here. We're going over there to play well and play as best we can, and that'll give us our best shot at winning. We're expecting them to play well, so we're not looking for them for motivation.
The Hurricanes have talked about, I suppose, looking at the Brumbies line out and obviously seeing that as one of your big weapons that you've used this season. Is that something I suppose you hope to employ again this weekend and go into those guys in the line out and really drive it from that more?
Well, I think it's been certainly a strength for us. We didn't really get to maul that much on the weekend, so it was pleasing that, given those circumstances, we had some other parts of our game that functioned well, so we were able to score tries off the back of that. So maybe this week we might get an opportunity to maul, and we know if we do that, we're going to have to do it well because they'll be aware that that's something we're going to look to use. So we're going to be really sharp in that area.
Obviously, still waiting on Henry Spates hearing this afternoon. I suppose if it does go against you, you're confident you've got the guys that come in the side, whether it's a Robbie Coleman or a James Dargaville or someone like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I mean, neither of those guys have played. I suppose Robbie's played a bit of finals, but it's Doug's first season in Super Rugby.
Yeah, Robbie's played in the starting side for most of the year, and he's been one of our most consistent players, no matter where he's played. So, that gives us a lot of confidence.
And James as well, like in terms of his development this season.
Yeah, definitely. He's had not as many opportunities as Robbie, but every time he's been involved, he's done well, and particularly defensively, he's very strong. So, when you look at some of the guys in their back line, that's going to be really important this week.
Great. Thanks,
Thank you.